For Thadden has the call.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Immigration. Is the Minister aware that the Australian Navy intercepts vessels in the Gulf of Aden as part of Operation Slipper, combating pirates, drug traffickers and terrorists? Minister, why has the government sent 31 Navy warships since 1991 to the Gulf to intercept vessels carrying armed and dangerous criminals, but claims our Navy is not capable of intercepting and turning around fishing boats being used by people smugglers?
The Minister for Immigration and Citizenship has the call.
I thank the honourable member. I thank the member for his question. Our Navy, in fact, our customs and naval personnel that are on the vessels in our waters do intercept the vessels. That's the first thing. They do intercept the vessels. In fact, their capacity to intercept vessels, the fact is they intercept these vessels, and they do a remarkable job. In fact, insofar as those that have arrived on the mainland, there was far more that were arriving on the mainland under the previous government. That means what's happened is the capacity for them to interdict these vessels has been improved.
The Minister will resume his seat. I am failing, though, however, to see what point of order the Leader of the Opposition might be raising. The Leader of the Opposition has the call.
Yes, Madam Speaker. Direct relevance. If the Navy can turn them around in the Gulf, why can't they turn them around in the Arafura Sea?
The Leader of the Opposition will resume his seat. The Minister has the call and is being relevant to the question.
So the first thing to say is they do intercept the vessels, of course, and they do that, and that is in itself a very significant challenge given the flow of vessels. We know that. And I've referred to, Speaker, some of the really challenging circumstances that they've confronted, including having to rescue people in SOLAS situations and indeed having to deal with, as I already referred to, that awful situation on the 10th of December in 2010, where 50 people died when a vessel foundered on the rocks of Christmas Island. On that occasion, our naval and customs personnel went into ribs and tenders and went to the rescue of those people. But the fact is, firstly, the honourable member compares intercepting pirates on the high seas compared to returning or not returning people who are seeking asylum. I don't think that is analogous. I don't think intercepting pirates on the high seas is analogous. And I refer the honourable member to the former Admiral of the Navy.
The member for Cook is warned.
And the former Admiral of the Navy, Chris Barry, who has made it very clear. And this is a naval officer who was directly involved in these operations, and he's made it very clear, without the coordination or without the cooperation of another country, that is a return country on the high seas, it is extremely dangerous for men, women and children, and it is extremely dangerous to our naval and customs personnel to do that. Now, I think the person, that is the person who's already placed themselves and their crews at risk, who've actually dealt with these operational reasons, should be listened to. These are people with many years of naval experience. That's why we do listen to those officers. And further to that, as the Deputy Prime Minister has already said in question time, we have a situation where the Vice President of Indonesia, the Ambassador of Indonesia, have made clear that what the Leader of the Opposition would like to put in place is not going to work, it's not going to happen, and insofar as our own personnel are concerned, it is unsafe. For those reasons, I would disagree with you in making that comparison with pirates on the high seas.